Have you completed a lot of the endgame now and are looking at a different character to play and try out new builds? Or maybe you're joining the league a little bit late and want to take advantage of that established economy. If either of these are true, keep watching the video because I've got some tips that's going to help speed up your campaign progression and boost your player power. This video is broken down into several parts. 1 is the early uniques that you need, 2 will be your weapon upgrades that you make during Acts 1 to 3, and finally 3 will be your Acts 4 final upgrades. The most important thing that I can say, guys, if you haven't already and you know what you want to play, is to have that character created and be on the character leveling already. Even if you don't have the twink gear, just get started. Let's not waste our time. The campaign takes hours to complete. Watching a YouTube video for 20 minutes will only eat 20 minutes of your campaign progression time. Luckily for us, there's only a few uniques that we're going to need, and they're cheap as hell. Other than this, we're going to make sure that we're upgrading our weapon, no matter what class we're playing, at the specific breakpoints to assure that we're doing top damage for our class. And then at Act 4, I'm going to show you what to look for to buy to guarantee your smooth progression from the campaign into interlude and early maps. So these are the unique items that I was speaking about, plus and minus the 2 extras being the Wanderlust and the helmet. Don't really need those, but if you want to get that extra speed later on, you can. Firstly, it's the Midnight Braid Rawhide Belt. You can equip this at level 1. Gives you 10% to all elemental resists and 50% damage taken recouped as mana. Very good quality of life there, and quite strong. Will carry you to Act 4. Next up is these boots. Gives you 10% movement speed. That's why we're grabbing them. The chest as well. Gives you a little bit of evasion rating, but that's also extra movement speed on the chest. Secondly, the Wanderlust. These are some tertiary uniques that you might not need, but good upgrades if you can afford them. And this helmet provides Onslaught, which is quite insane, considering Onslaught gives you 20% increased skill speed and movement speed. Right, so here we are. Let's search up the items that we're going to want for our weapons. So first of all, I'm going to show you how you would search for a warrior, as this is what I've done most recently. To be honest, in Act 1, you don't really need a weapon. There's also a unique mace that's level 1 that has a bunch of flat damage on it. That's good. However, you could pretty much just alchemy a couple of weapons and you'll get one that's similar to this. Obviously, if there's someone that's putting runes in it and making it a twink gear and then selling it for 1x, grab it. It's a good deal. I'd grab that if I did need one. So let's check here for the level cutoffs in Act 2. So it looks about level 32 is the end level there. So let's say you'd want to grab one for level 32. So I'll put in level 32 here. Take off what we've just put in here. And so you can see the Act 2 mace is a unique mace. This mace is very strong and I used it myself in Act 2. I equipped it at the Dreadnought before fighting the boss and managed to one-tap the boss. It's very, very strong. Gives you a lot of damage, and that's the mace I was talking about earlier, by the way. Yep, so there's that. Taking a look at Act 3, sees the top level is about level 41. Give or take a few levels, but as you can see, it's still telling us for the price that we've put in, the top weapon is the unique weapon. Now we can change the parameters a bit, maybe up the XOR price, and there's probably a couple of weapons on there. However, you don't really need to do this, as the unique weapon's going to carry you through, and that's not more that is not much more DPS anyway, to be honest. So let's ignore that. Okay, let's have a look through Sork and Witch. Let's pretend that we're playing one of those for a moment and that we want a good wand. How do you get power like DPS in a wand? Most importantly is gem levels, spell power, and if you're playing something like Spark or Fireball or something like that, you're going to want a bit of flat damage on that as well. So just add that to your need. Here I'm going to pretend that I'm using like Wither Contagion because that's quite popular at the moment. So I'm going to look for gem level and spell damage, sort by that. As you can see, this is a really good wand here, although we don't really want mana drain. So as I said before, either grab this one here or just Alka wand for Act 1. Anything in Act 1 will be strong enough anyway. Going into the end of Act 2 then, we'll just up this by 1 gem level and then search, click on the spell damage and it'll sort from the highest to the lowest while keeping your max price for being 1 exalt. These are some good ones here. that you could use. And moving further on to Act 3, obviously I'm just going up one at a time. There's a lot less ones here now, but still for 1x, you couldn't go wrong with these weapons, yeah? Very good weapons. Now let's move on to bows, because I know some people are going to be re-rolling into a lightning arrow deadeye. So let's make sure that they're accounted for too. As with before for Act 1, obviously this guy's put in a bit more effort. He's put in some runes and stuff, so that's a decent weapon. But go with a Regal, go with an Alk, should be fine, Act 1. Then we're going to move on to Dual String for the extra arrow, for Lightning Arrow, very strong. These are the best ones that you can get here. You can sort it by plain DPS, because you're using Lightning Arrow, so you're going to want to use some flat as well. But to be honest, it's going to be not much off of the physical DPS bows either. Here I'm just upping the price to see if it gets much better, but no. Obviously, this build is in demand. Not a lot of weapons floating around for low levels at the moment. You could probably craft your own. However, yeah, these are the ones that are on the market. These are the ones that will carry you through the campaign. Finally, this is the Act 4 live gearing. This is full unedited footage of me changing from the beginning setup into what will carry me into maps. Okay, so you're in Act 4 and your defenses look like mine. You've just taken your uniques off and your defenses are literal dog piss. What could you do to help boost your power? So here's a pair of boots that I picked up to replace my 10% movement speed boots. I picked this up because it had move speed, high move speed, and double resist. So I'm going to show you the query that I used to buy these boots. Always check your level 44. So maximum level 44. I put exalted orbs required 2. Movement speed, I put minimum 25. Then I added count, minimum of 2, fire, cold, lightning, minimum of 20 for each of these. Now what this count does is when you search your query, it will find boots firstly with at least 25 movement speed, and then with at least 2 of these modifiers at random. So the reason this is important is because right now I'm lacking on all of my resistances. So if I buy boots first, which I want move speed on, and I can grab here, let's say this guy's boots here. Now, unfortunately for you, if you were buying this one, he's got full prefixes. Now, this is still a decent pair of boots, even without the life. Now, for an example of what I did, is I bought these boots because they did have a missing prefix. They did not have armor on them. They had move speed, mana, fire resistance, and lightning resistance. So they had an open suffix and an open prefix. Now, obviously, because I've got my own character in the end game, I have these preserved ribs. I whacked one on my boots, hoping that it would hit prefix, because then I've got a chance to unveil life, and those are pretty decent boots that I can use even into the end game, right? Unfortunately, I hit a suffix. However, fortunately for me, I got percent of armor applies swelly damage. So that's not too bad. And then I exalted increased armor, missed the life, so that's unfortunate there. But we whacked those on. And you can see that we're positive, at least neutral for fire, but in the positive for lightning. Now we just need to get the rest of these up. So come with me and I'll just show you live as I do it right now how I would search for the rest of my items. So not that, sorry. Let's go here and type gloves. Still level 44. Now we don't want move speed, but we still do want to keep this on here. Now what we really want is maximum life. And because we're a warrior, obviously if you're a evasion user, if you're a dex user, you want evasion or ES something hybrid. And if you're a witch, you're going to want energy shield, right? So change this according to whatever class you are. So we go over here minimum 1 on the armor, maximum 0 on energy shield. And here we go. So here are some cheap options that we have. So you can see for an ALK, I could grab these. These aren't too bad. Let's sort this by life. So the highest we can get here is these. These aren't too bad. What I kind of want to do is grab an item that has an open slot, like this one, so I can whack a Nord bone on it, just because I have them. Unfortunately, some of these are quite bad. These are quite high, you know, levels. I want to get the best deal possible, right? So just going to keep looking a little bit. Something like this is quite good, but the life is too low. Let's go back up. See, so if this was missing one of the prefixes or this suffix, I would buy this. However, it's full, so it's kind of bad. Could I do much with this? Not really. There's 4 prefixes, you know. Okay, you know what? I'm just going to buy this one for 2 exalts because it's not the worst, and it's got some physical, flat physical, so that's beneficial for me because considering of what I'm running just physical at the moment. So that's 2 exalts. I don't mind paying that. I've dropped plenty of exalts in the campaign. You've probably dropped some too. Earlier on in the video, I said even if you're joining the league late, this is something that you can do. Obviously, as and when you drop currency during the campaign, you can use it to level up. You don't have to wait for the specific breakpoints. Just on the fly, you can just adjust this to whatever level you are, obviously, and you can do that. No more tabbing out and doing what faffing around. Just make sure that you're getting the gear for your level. Okay, so here I'm just gonna whack a, what are these things called? Artificer orb on it. I don't know what I'm going to put in it yet. However, we're going to recheck our resistances. Looking good here. We've got fire, lightning, cold. They're coming up nicely. I'm not going to worry about chaos in the campaign. Don't really need to. This is a belt that I picked up in Act 3. I did it with double res and life, so I'm not too fussed about replacing this. Likewise with this, I did this did I do this or I bought this? I can't remember. Obviously, it's got an allocation in it, so maybe I did buy that. But all that we've got left is to get is the body armor and rings, so we'll do that now. You know what? I'll do the rings first because the body armor we can probably do without the count on. Oh, this obviously reset. This is a bit annoying. That keeps resetting. Fire, cold, lightning. Obviously, before in Path of Exile 1, you used to be able to do pseudo lightning resistances, but it doesn't seem you can do that on the in-game version at the moment, so that's a bit annoying. But we're going to search for ring here. Maximum. Let's go 1 Exalted Orb, see what we can grab. Find. Got a Venter's Gamble here. What the hell? Oh, that's right. So obviously make sure you put your level in, 42. It's only 3 showing up here, but oh, that's low life. That is really low life. Okay, this one is good here. Look at this. So we've got an open prefix, we've got life, and we've got flat added fears. So this is really good for my build. And then we've got double resistances. And this guy's somehow put, well, it's actually a lightning resist ring, better than these accuracy ones. So that's very good. 5 minutes. Quick snipe on that one. Very good. And obviously I can add a modifier onto that to make that one better, which we'll do right now. One of the things that I will say is it's quite important once you get to Act 4 to do this, because Act 4 is no joke. It is a lot strong. Like, the monsters are a lot stronger than the previous acts. Yeah, that'll give us a prefix. Yeah, and there's no point just slugging your way through it, constantly dying over and over again. Just get those upgrades that you can. Even like here, if I couldn't fill my resistances and armor to a reasonable degree, I'd take off the helmet and buy a helmet. Like, it wouldn't really bother me. Okay, so unlucky for us, we've got some weird mods, but I'm just going to take mana because why not? I use mana. I don't use spell damage, and I don't really have lightning damage except for the small amount of flat that I have on here, but it's kind of negligible at that point. Put that on. We should be, yep, we're over capped on lightning now, so we can take lightning off of our parameters on the search. Let's go back down. Let's just start with the count. Minimum 2. Now we're going to just put fire and cold. And now we could really actually look to cap these out. So how much do we need cold? Right. So for fire, we're not going to be able to cap it with just this. Okay, so we're just going to put 2020 again on. That'll at least get us to 60 cold as well. And then we'll put life. Maximum 2 this time, because there was only a couple there. 42. Actually, I'm level 44, so maybe I missed out a deal there. Make sure that I've put in it as a ring. Okay, as you can see, these are the ones that popped up before, and now we've got another one on here, but this is for 2. Good flat fizz again. Max life, bad accuracy. Right, so at this point, let's think about it. We don't need cast speed. It's one exalt extra. It just gives us a bit of flat. Now, let's take a look at this ring here. We don't really need the accuracy, however, it does help with our build. Flat fire is okay. Really bad life. However, it has to all elemental resistances here, plus the fire and the cold. So this might take off a bit of the burden that we need on our chest. So let's just go ahead and grab this one here. It's also 1 exalt cheaper, so if you were a bit of a cheapskate, or if you don't have the currency, you can just grab that one. Obviously, if you have gotten to endgame T15s and stuff, you're going to have plenty of currency to buy these items. I am showing you the worst case scenario, right? Like you could go back on a ring, for example, say you're level 44, say you have 20x, and you don't, like, say you have like divs and you don't care about it. You just go life, type it back in again. We'll go fire cold, and then we're just going to search. Look how much more we've got, guys. We've got literally 10,000 rings. Hold on, something's gone wrong. Ah, that's because I've not put the minimum in. Sorry. Let's say 50 life. Still, we've got 10,000 rings here. That's embarrassing. We've got 128 rings here. Okay, so these rings are obviously all going to be better than the ones that I've got here. Look, Chaos Res, 69 life, all Ellie Res, evasion. Look at that. That's banging. That's a banging ring, and you can equip it right now, 5x. So if you're willing to spend 5, 6x, you can get banging rings here. I'm not, because I know I'm going to upgrade them anyway as soon as I can get to the next tier. So yeah, what do we need now? Right, we need to put the ring on. That's what we need to do. Right, the ring is now on. And we need... Oh, we're not capped fire res. I thought we were before. Guess I'm mistaken. I can also get a new one of these. Okay. So this is real time me figuring it out. Yeah, more importantly is that we get fire and cold at the moment because we're almost capped on lightning. So we'll go back to the drawing board here with body armor. There we go. Fire, cold. Let's take that back to 2. And here you see 102 life, fire, cold, reduced poison duration. Now, this is what we're looking for, guys. Look at this here. Don't worry about these here. Obviously, I could search here for armor, but I didn't want energy shield before. And I don't know if we're going to get another one like this. So this is an open suffix. So what we could actually do here, buy this, we'll use the new currency on it from the Abyss League, and we'll see if we can hit. This is like a little bit of a gamble, okay? We'll see if we can hit lightning resist on this, or some sort of double resist or chaos resist or something on it. It's got a decent amount of life. It's not got as much armor as I would want, and obviously it's got an int requirement, but that can easily be fixed through the tree. Let's go here. Grab one of these. Bang, that whacks on a suffix. We'll go to the Well of Souls, and we'll see what we can do with this. Okay, so we were unfortunate in that it added a prefix. However, what can we do here? So we can add 13 extra life on, or we can increase the armor and energy shield percentage. We'll just take the lower percentage with the extra life so that we can have that. And then we'll hit it with an exalt and that'll be fine. Obviously, you don't have to settle with something like this. You could then just look for an armor only piece. However, I'll settle. I don't really mind. Bang an exalt on it. Let's see. Reduce duration of bleeding on you. Okay, so there's that. Actually, I don't think I want to use that. So let's put that in my rip. Let's go back to body armors. Level 44. Maximum 2. We want life. Minimum of 80 life. Count. Fire. Cold. Minimum of 20 on both. We can put and. Prefix. Modifiers. Maximum 2. Oh, sorry. Minimum 3. Suffix modifiers. Maximum 2. Okay, we've got a couple here. Okay, why is this showing up? That's why. Okay. This would be perfect. However, unfortunately, he's also already smashed this to try and do what I've just done. So that's not right. Let's upload to 3. Okay. So here we've got some body armors. Unfortunately, they're all armor energy shield. It's quite sad, actually. Okay, let's take these off here. Let's just do armor bases at this point. We're going to search by the highest armor. Spirit on it. Dum, 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 dum. This one's quite close, to be fair. This one's quite good as it's got armor, also plus elemental damage. This would be good, but it requires quite a lot of intellect. So let's just check how much strength I've got. I've got 94, so this would be fine. For one regal orb, that's quite a steal, to be honest, a regal orb. So let's go and grab that. There you go. Put that on. And this is the reason we left these clear guys. What I mean by this is these runes. So let's have a look at our elemental resistance. We're missing a little bit of fire and a little bit of lightning. So what I'm going to do is I'm not actually going to implant the runes to do that. I'm going to just take off this because it's something that I bought or found during the access, not necessary. I can keep my onslaught helmet on, luckily, so that's good. And let's recheck that what we need. We need fire and lightning. I need 3% fire to be capped and 4% lightning to be capped. So let's go here. Go to count. Go to fire, lightning. What was it? 3% fire, 4% lightning. Am I right? That's right. And life. I don't actually know what else you'd want on a amulet, to be honest, for a warrior. Let's just have a look here. Max 44. Let's sort it by maximum life. Actually put a bloody cap on this, because I didn't do that. Put it at 3 anyway. So here we've got chaos resistance on this one. That's quite good. Crit damage bonus. I don't do crits. Don't have evasion rating, so that's useless. All attributes could be good. Damage taken recoups his life could be good, but it's a low roll. So as I'm looking down, just telling you my thought process here. Spirit's good, but I'm only using Herald of Ash at the moment. However, you obviously for your build you might want that. Okay, so I'm going back up here because there was one that I saw that was quite good. And that's the one at the top here with Chaos Resistance. I think this is quite a decent amulet, even with, as you can see, it's a tier 2 life, tier 3 rarity. It's got the resist that I need, and it's also got Chaos Res. I don't really care about the mana regenerate, but it doesn't matter. I need the life, I need the reses. 3 Exalted Orbs, that's pretty decent, to be fair. So we'll grab that. We are now capped. We have 42% armor. And what we could also do, we could make our armor a little bit higher, obviously, with scraps. If you want to do that, I'll probably do that on the chest, considering it already has high armor. However, obviously, because it's a low item level, the armor scraps grant more than just 1% quality. So, how much are scraps? Let's have a look, actually. So 2 for an X. Not worth it. It's not worth it. When you've got this low, it's not worth it. Let's have a look at some runes that we've got. We're obviously on armor. So, resistances, don't need that. Regenerating life per second, don't really need that. So maximum life, greater body runes. Let's make sure we're not self-scamming ourselves. I have that. I want exalts. It's 6 to an exalt, guys. And these give 40 life each. Come on. Let's not be stingy. That's less than an exalt right there. And that's added. Look at how much life that's added, guys. We're now at 1300 life. We were at like 800 or something. Very decent. Yeah, this is enough to carry me through Act 4 for sure. So that's that. Thank you very much for watching. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. Leave the video a like and please subscribe. It really helps out with the algorithm, and I'm going to be making lots more Path of Exile content, not just 2, Path of Exile 1 as well, as that's primarily where all my experience in PoE comes from. I'm quite new in PoE 2, but I'm definitely not a tourist. Thank you for watching.